What's going on, guys? Now, a few months ago I made a relatively big purchase. I got the ROG RTX3080 XG mobile variant. Now, I'm pairing this today with my ROG X13, and the past few months things haven't been smooth sailing, to say the least. So today we're going to go through the three main issues I've faced and how to fix them. So here we have our first issue. As you can see, we're running a Plague Tale Requiem, relatively new game. Now, just look at the top left-hand corner. Look at the FPS currently. We're going as high as 58, and we have our 1% lows of 12 and our 0.1% lows of 0. Let's just zoom in on that. Now take a look what happens when I'm moving around. Look at that extreme stutter. Here, let's walk forward a bit. Yeah, just look at the FPS right now. We're going down all the way to 28 at points and then up to 65 within a second. Absolutely atrocious. Now, why is this happening? Well, let's skip to that. Performance mode in the armory crate. Now, we could turn this up to turbo, but for now we're going to keep it on performance. And just look at our temperature of our GPU. It's sitting at 89 degrees. Quite terrible. And for some reason, we've maxed out at 1100 M8Z for our GPU clock. Why is that? I don't know. Through a lot of trial and error, I've found that the reason this is happening is because the GPU doesn't like going over 86 degrees. So once it hits that 86 degree mark, the PC just basically breaks, and you get extreme stuttering and throttling, and your clock speed goes all over the place, as you can see now. And that's obviously a major issue because we're pretty much getting unplayable FPS right now. I mean, let's go back to our game and let me just show you the extent of this problem. I mean, look, I'm just running forward, and just look at that. Completely unplayable. Just atrocious. Right, so the way we fix this is by setting a custom fan curve and also limiting the CPU temps. I'll talk about the CPU temps later, but for now we'll just look at first of all, the custom fan curves. We're going to set our GPU saver to default. We're going to offset our memory clock offset to wherever you want, really. It doesn't really matter. Now, the main thing is the fan speed. Okay, we're going to create a nice custom curve where we don't let it get to 80 degrees. We do this by setting our fan speed to 100%, and this will mean we won't hit that 86 degree mark, hopefully, and it won't break. If you set it to turbo or performance, this issue will persist no matter what the temperature is once you reach that 86 degree mark. So we're going to click OK on that. We're going to accept this. And now just look at our GPU temp. It should drop in a second. It obviously gets extremely loud, but we will... Yeah, there we go. It's dropped to 85. Now let's go back to our game and see if this issue persists. Perfectly smooth gameplay. Look at that. Works every time. Guaranteed. .92 FPS, a lot higher than we saw before. Average frame rate should be going up soon, now that we've played for a while. Fantastic. As a degenerate Warzone player, I like to have my FPS high and my temperatures low. But as you can see from our MSI Afterburner overlay, our CPU temperature on the Ryzen 7 6800HS is 95 degrees, even though its usage is only 55%. That is absolutely atrocious. Let's fix this. Now, the reason why we want to keep our temps low is because this can cause long-term damage to our battery, especially when using a laptop, and also it can damage the other components surrounding it, as well as the cooler that's cooling your CPU. Okay, so here's how we apply the fix. Let's go over to our armory crate. And what we're going to do is similar to what we did before. We're going to go to our manual settings, and we're going to click on the CPU part. Now, the reason why this is happening to the CPU is because on turbo mode, the software pushes too much power towards the CPU for some reason, and it just can't handle that. The cooling on the laptop can't handle that, and the CPU itself can't handle that, which is why we experience frame drops and stutters. What we're going to do is we're going to reduce our SPL to 20 watts, our SPPT to 30 watts, and our FPPT to 40 watts. What these are different power limits that the software sets to allow it to reach a certain clock speed for a certain amount of time. And we're also going to adjust our fan curve to something that looks a bit like this. Okay, it doesn't need to be exactly like this, but something like this. Now, when we click apply, we're going to click yes, and just watch our CPU. Okay, as you can see, we've now settled down at a comfortable 77 degrees, which shouldn't be damaging to our hardware. Let's go up and look at our FPS. We're at a lovely 107 FPS. That is comfortable for AAA games. Yeah, we've had pretty much no performance drop whilst we've reduced temperatures. It's a success. Right, welcome to our third and final issue. Now, if you're like me and you have an HDR monitor, and mid-game, you want to switch to HDR mode, watch this. I'm going to go and head over to our monitor settings. We're going to go here, and this is Dell, so we have this thing called Smart HDR. If we want to turn this on, watch what happens. You get a black screen, and the DisplayPort connection is completely disconnected from the monitor. We now have it on our secondary monitor. Okay, why is this happening? Well, I've got my 165Hz Quad HD monitor connected to my DisplayPort. The reason I've connected it to the DisplayPort is to support NVIDIA G-Sync. And connecting anything to the DisplayPort, whether it's a 1080p monitor or 4K monitor, anything connected to this RTX 3080 DisplayPort will turn off when you do anything like shutting it down or putting on sleep modes. Any small change you make, even changing the resolution of the monitor, will cause a disconnect to the DisplayPort. Don't know why. There is no reason for it. It's just the Armoury Crate software ruining everything. Uninstalling the software does provide a fix, but you do want the software, so it's a bit of an issue. Now, the only fix for this, it's not official, but the only fix after scouring Reddit posts and trial and error myself is just restarting your laptop. That will reset the Armoury Crate and give you your DisplayPort connection back. Now, to prove that it works, I'm going to show you. I'm going to edit the HDR function on this monitor. And this is the same thing for non-HDR monitors. For example, if I change one of the settings in Windows, whether I change the resolution, for example, or anything connected to this DisplayPort, this will happen. So right now, I'm going to change it from Display HDR. I'm going to turn it off. No signal. No signal. And even if we go into our settings, let's say we go to our display settings. Let's just click change the resolution of display. If we go here, the monitor doesn't even register as existing anymore. Don't know why this happens. Now, as I said, the only fix is to restart. Let's restart. And we're back online. Monitor's reconnected. If we unlock our laptop, everything's back to normal.